Good morning, YouTubers. This is Bud coming to you from Honolulu, Hawaii. And I'd like to talk to you this morning about a question that a lot of my friends have been discussing. It has to do, should marijuana be legalized? Now, if you look back at the history of hemp, up till 1840 we used it to pay taxes. So it's been around this country up to the 30s. It was everywhere. It was used to make rope, sails. The word canvas for sails comes from the word cannabis. It's been used for as a medicine for probably close to 7,000 years. So there's no question about its therapeutic value. Many of our presidents grew it. Washington, Adams, Madison, Jefferson grew it and smoked it. Betty Ross sewed the big flag that was in the War of 1812 was sewed out of hemp. The Constitution was penned on hemp. So to say it hasn't been around or used in this country is kind of a false statement that's been made. If you look at what hemp can be used for, cannabis or marijuana, it can be broken down to a great synthetic fuel. It's a great insulator, great building material. It's great for making cloth. The clothes that are made from hemp last forever. There are pharmaceutical companies out there that provide pain relievers that hemp has been used for, or cannabis. We're going to need pharmaceuticals. So I'm not here to knock the pharmaceutical companies, because a lot of the pharmaceuticals that are out there today save lives for people. So they have their place. But cannabis is also a great pain reliever too, and I think we've been misled about that. If you look at the presidents that have been involved with the puff puff pass theory, Obama's admitted to it. Clinton puff puff but never inhaled, so that I think is ironically funny. Bush has admitted to puff puff pass, and when I was in college, puff puff pass was everywhere. I mean, all over the campus back in the 70s. So what would have happened to those presidents if they would have been caught and imprisoned for the use of cannabis or marijuana? Would they have been president? I don't think so. Another thing that really perturbs me a little bit about the cannabis movement is the amount of organizations that are out there. You have the Marijuana Project, Americans for Safe Access, you have NORML. These groups need to work together, and it's amazing to me that there are so many of them working from so many different directions that it just seems to me, united we stand, divided we're going to fall on this issue. So I think it's important to me, because when I looked at some of the factors involved, and I looked at over 700,000 people were arrested last year for possession or transportation of marijuana, cannabis, I was just overwhelmed by that. The idea is that our prisons are being filled with nonviolent offenders is something I just can't perceive. I'm just hoping you guys out there feel the same as I do. That has to change. The idea that our law enforcement agencies are more involved with dealing with people that possess drugs than they are with violent offenders who use guns and hurt people, I don't understand. I guess there's no profit in arresting people that are violent offenders because you can't seize their property, I guess. I'm not sure about that. I think our law enforcement needs to make a little adjustment there. And it's not that I'm against law enforcement, because we absolutely need them. So maybe they need to tweak their thinking a little bit there. So how do we proceed? How do we get the point where we can get cannabis legalized? Now, right now I can tell you I'm not a user. That doesn't mean I won't use it in the future if it's ever legalized. but right now I want you to know I'm not. So how can we get to the point where we can make it a legal substance? Well, it's simple. We have to first look at the people that really need it, that are sick. And we need to legalize it for medical use in all the states. That's the first thing that has to happen. It's a great pain reliever. I have friends that have MS, that are wheelchair bound, that have back injury, have migraine headaches. They claim it's a godsend, that they are able to reduce their opiates. And you know, if you use opiates, and that's a pharmaceutical, opiates are great for relieving pain. Unfortunately, the side effects is that if you use too many of them, they'll damage your kidney and liver. I have yet to hear or see any research, and I've been reading for 6 months, that shows that cannabis damages organs. As a matter of fact, it appears that we have receptors just for cannabis. So the brain is used to, and the body is used to receiving these cannabinoids. So you can research that yourself on YouTube. You can find out more information on Wikipedia. Go to Google search and look these things up yourself. Make sure that you understand what the truth is. The next step is going to be decriminalizing it. So there are no criminal penalties, and that pretty much takes law enforcement out of the picture. And the third step will be to legalize it. And I don't think I'll see that in my lifetime. I don't know if it'll ever be legalized. It's been demonized for too many years and most people don't understand it and don't want to understand it. So again, I think those are the 3 steps we've got to take. We've got to get the organizations together, working as a team. We have to make a statement. And I'm not sure this may be the last YouTube entry I make, other than maybe a few hikes if people are interested. But I think it should be legalized. I think it should be decriminalized. And I think that's going to take a lot of money out of the organized crime area. Kind of like what happened when we went through alcohol. There was a lot of money made by the underground when alcohol had criminal penalties. So again, we need to look at this, take our time. You out there need to do the research and make your own decisions about what you think should happen, and you need to get involved. For me, I'm looking at America's Safe Access, because I want to see those people that are going through chemotherapy, and I want to see people that are going through severe pain. If this will help them, I want them to have it. So you have to make a decision as to where you stand on this issue and make it known. After all, 1 million people told Obama on his internet site that they thought marijuana should be legalized. And he kind of laughed at that, which a little bit angered a lot of people. But he has children too, and I'm sure his wife had something to say about it. So again, cut him a break, give him some time. He is making moves. So let's see what happens. But meanwhile, we got to keep the people that are just using marijuana out of the prison system, because frankly, we don't have the money to pay for that, and we need to use our money in a better area. So I hope this has been helpful, YouTube. I appreciate your time. You can make a comment, make a positive comment, no negatives out there. I know that there's a stance on this, and I just hope this meets the needs of some people that were asking me some questions. Anyway, this is Bud from Hawaii. Thank you. Peace and aloha.